Hello everybody and welcome on in today. I've got some open world PvP for you guys. I spend a lot of time running around New World, flagged up, just looking for fights in basically all the hotspots that I can find. And I sometimes manage to find myself a pretty good fight. So I'm going to share this with you guys. I hope that you enjoy the fight. Of course, if you guys want to see a build video of this build, you can find a link to it down in the description below. Now let's get right into that PvP commentary. A little bit of some cut footage here because I was spending a lot of time running back and breaking aggro in between these kills here, but I did manage to pick off a few kills with the help of the NPCs. There's a quick riposte so I don't get slammed by the guards, and the other player there just knocked down by the tentacle, and I managed to finish him off. And I just continue to do my best to put some pressure into these guys. This guy trying to climb up the hill to the rest of his friends just managed to connect the fireball. The NPC's doing some damage there too. And there's a light attack with the fire staff to finish him off. And slowly but surely, as I reset and drop down, these guys end up coming back and continuing to fight the boss. This guy here goes for the big hammer stun. He manages to land it on me, but the wolf coming in clutch to finish him off. And then another player ends up jumping down. Again, I had to jump down to break aggro, so that's why I've got so many cuts here. But I managed to pick up another kill on the mage. The tentacle just smashing me as I finish him off there. And there is the fireball to finish him as well. And then it's just the tank left down at the bottom here. This guy here was very, very tanky. And I lobbed fireballs at him for a long time while he fought the boss, eventually managing to put enough pressure in with the NPCs to finally bring him down. And then getting the finishing blow there with the heavy attack. And then again, I retreat. But as I come back up to re-engage with these guys, they end up waiting for me on the top of this cliff here. And they've got a healer and two enemy players. There's a huge heavy attack into that guy. I go for the flesh into the light attack poke. Roll light attack poke. Such a quick combo with the rapier. And I managed to bring one of the players down. And he ends up running back to rejoin the fray, and the healer ends up peacing out. And I cut this again because this tank here was very, very tanky. I honestly don't think I was going to kill him one-on-one. I really did my best, but I ended up spending about 5 minutes fighting him before managing to pick up the kill on that guy that came back there. And then I continue to head up towards the rest of the group. They're sitting up at the boss, and I've got to make my way up this hill that this guy is on here. I go for the flesh from behind, and he ends up just not doing anything. And I'm a little confused as to why he didn't really react there. And I throw the fireball down, manage to kill him. And then I find out for myself, if someone is standing below you when you're in this spot, you actually can't cast or move or anything. And the tank ends up trapping me there, and everybody else guts me. But that's not going to deter me. I continue to do my best to get up here. Honestly, I took quite a few deaths before I eventually managed to make it to the top of this thing. And it was a difficult process, but there you see I managed to juke the couple hammer players, get up to the top. They start landing a ton of stuns. The stun still hits me even when I roll off the edge. There comes the gravity well, and I try to go for the riposte, eventually getting it at the end of that stun duration. And I managed to survive and eventually get a little bit of a reset, and I'll let you guys enjoy the rest of the fight without any cuts from this point. Things get pretty interesting. As you can see, there's quite a few players chasing me around here. We've got the healer sitting up at the top there. He's just shooting projectiles at me, but he's also going to be healing his friendly enemies as well. And two hammer guys and a spear player chasing me there. I get a great riposte on those guys. Huge heavy attack into the spear player there. Unfortunately, I don't manage to land on top of him with the flesh. Go for the fire staff burnout right inside of the gravity well as it's dropped on me. And the game decides to be kind and not teleport me back into the gravity well. So I end up making it out of that safely. Go for the flesh into the backstab. Big combo on that player. He just manages to get the dodge before I land the third backstab there. And then I go for the burnout to stay right on top of the enemy ranger. A lot of movement on this build, just kind of kiting away. And then using the gap closers to rapidly get back on top of my enemy. There you see the gravity well came down. I was mashing the weapon swap button. It was not working. Definitely had some issues with gravity well and brutes in general, just kind of locking my character out of being functional this patch. Either way, managed to still survive it. Got the projectiles shooting at me here, and I decide, all right, gonna go for the safety jump down to the bottom. And that ends up being a terrible, terrible decision. This is not a safe area at all. And the NPC is just going to give me a quick smackdown there. But not gonna give up yet. I end up climbing right back up. This time, nobody is waiting for me. They've started to fight the boss, and I take advantage of this moment to get some sweet, sweet revenge for dying earlier. There you see the first player. He ends up going for a bit of a panic, not making the heal in time, and I managed to kill him. Throw the fireball on the boss there to try to hit the down player. Unfortunately, the boss decides to aggro to me, the only player there that's on my faction. Everybody else is on the green faction, doing damage to him, but I guess that fireball was enough to pull the boss aggro. Still managed to land the flesh to finish off that player that was down by the boss. And now it's just me and the enemy players, so I gotta be careful. The first guy comes chasing from behind with the hammer here. I go for a bit of a kite down the staircase. I'm a little low on health here. Managed to make the potion. The regen's just coming up as well. And I throw the fireball down on this guy. He goes for the reap. A nice read on the roll there. Just keep feeding him the fire attacks. He goes for another attack. I get a good read on that. And then start feeding him the heavies with the rapier. Unfortunately, I use my riposte there. It does not go off properly. I swear this patch is the patch where rapier does not work properly. But that's okay. Still ended up managing to flesh safely outside of the gravity well, and I switched targets to this enemy player here. He's the healer, and I knew that from earlier, and I just chase him down. Managed to get the finish. The hammer player punishing me for trying to finish the player off with the combo stun there. But I roll away out of the stun eventually, go for the flesh through the enemy player, and I managed to bring him down. Now I chase the last player here. No, it looks like 3 players left. 2 of them trying to get through this door, and the other one turns around and throws the gravity well on me here. I go for the heavy attack. This time, riposte nice and clean into that hammer stun. Slower stun, easy to catch with that riposte. And then I just keep feeding him some fireballs as he decides to back up here. He goes the other way, and I quickly jump on top of the AFK player. Normally, I would not kill the AFK player, but desperate times call for desperate measures. And this is definitely a 1vx fight where I don't want to take the risk of leaving him alive. So I bring him down, dodging the enemy hammer stun combos to deliver the finishing blows there. And then I get right back on top of this enemy hammer player. It looks like his last friend there abandoned him through the entrance to the arena. I go for that riposte on him on the hammer stun again, and I get a good amount of damage. He throws the gravity well down to trap me, but I just stay aggressive in his gravity well. He's definitely lower HP here, and I had the evade if I had to iframe an attack still. So I managed to just continue to keep the pressure on him. He goes for that big hammer stun. I roll right underneath it. Great stuff. Go for the flesh behind him here. Managed to catch him with no stamina and just start feeding him the backstabs. Getting some pretty rapid cooldowns with the rapier there, thanks to that keenly jagged perk. And this guy ends up chugging both his potions. He keeps trying to roll away, finally goes for the hammer stun, and I get the riposte right away on it. Roll the next incoming stun, go for the flash, get back behind him with the dodge roll, and I finally managed to take the guy down. And then, of course, one last guy just hanging off to the side here that I run into after picking up a little bit of loot. I'll let you guys enjoy the fight as I say goodbye. If you guys want to see a written guide to this build, you can, of course, find it on my website, pvpnewworld.com. Lots more builds on there for you, too. I did this fight live on Twitch, so if you guys want to catch some of that live gameplay, you can always come and hang out. Give me a follow, and of course, give me a follow on Twitter if you want to keep up to date with what's going on with me. I also keep up to date with my stream times if anything changes from the schedule. And finally, if you have an awesome fight that you want to send in for the New World Top 5 Battles, or if you've got a sweet build you want to see featured on the channel, you can send that to Kristofer at pvpnewworld.com. This show is sponsored by What the Fast. They're a VPN for gamers. They can give you better ping to your favorite games. They're free to try for the first month, and there's a link down below in the description for you. Last but not least, a massive thank you to all of my patrons on Patreon. Thank you so much for supporting the show, allowing me to keep doing this job. Thank you, everybody, just for tuning in and watching today. As always, I hope you all enjoyed. I hope to see you guys next time. Have a great night, everyone.